welcome to Meet the Candidate. And my guest for this session is Terry Landa, who is running for Central Valley School District Director position 2. Welcome, Terry.
Well, thank you very much.
So glad that you could come in today. And this is just to get acquainted, starting with tell me about where you grew up.
Well, I grew up in Spokane Valley, and I was born in Spokane and went to school at Central Valley High School. Went from there to Paris for a year, which was kind of my gap year, but I was actually in school, and then the University of Washington. But after graduation from college, I came back to Spokane, and it's been my home basically ever since. I spent a little bit of time up in Newport, Washington, as a school district superintendent. But basically, Spokane Valley, within about a 5-mile radius, is where I've spent my life.
Well, that's very interesting that you had a gap year in Paris. What was some highlights of that year?
Oh, that was a wonderful year. My dad, who was Mexican, had a big family, and one auntie fled to Paris because of some circumstances, and he wanted us to meet her. So we were in high school, and we all went over, saw some of Europe, and got to know this auntie. And I had a sister that was a French major, and she said, let's go back and live in Paris. So we did. We lived there for a year, and I went to the American College in Paris, and she went to the Sorbonne, and we had a wonderful gap year.
Oh, it sounds like a wonderful adventure.
Yeah.
Is there anything from that you've brought back as part of your view of life here back in Central Valley?
Only the love of travel, in that seeing other cultures, living there for a year, really getting embedded in that culture, and appreciation for people with all kinds of beliefs and backgrounds and languages. So that's been a part of my life.
Very cool. Growing up in Spokane Valley, was there a first job that that first taught you about work and effort?
There was. My very first job was for a dentist in Spokane Valley, Dr. Harkin. And a notice came over our loudspeaker at school that they were looking for a part-time high school girl. So I went and interviewed and ended up working with him and starting a major in dental hygiene. And that didn't work out for me. I chose education instead. But the job left me with really an appreciation for working as a teacher. Being a dental assistant is a very, very hard job. And it's a long hours on your feet. I was away from education for a while, came back as a teacher, having done dental assisting and realizing, boy, teaching is hard work, but the conditions are really nice. And there's benefits with teaching that you don't have in other professions. So it did really affirm that there's all kinds of jobs out there that people do, and I know that's something different than education, but education was where my heart was.
What did you enjoy most about your teaching career?
The kids. I love kids. I have a couple of my own, and I was an elementary school teacher for 20 years. And what you get being the classroom teacher, you get more than you give, because the children depend on you. They learn from you. You see light bulbs go on. You are influencing their friendships, their academics, their dreams, and it's very rewarding. It was very rewarding. I'm not doing it now.
So what led you to, well, actually, this kind of leads into that last question, and I'll just go right there. It's like, what led you into running for school board? And this is your opportunity to answer the question, why should people vote for Terry Landa for school board at Central Valley?
So the first part was, why did I go into education?
No, why go into politics? Why step
Why
out
go
to
in,
to run for office?
politics, I didn't aspire to this. I was very content. I'm retired. But I found I wanted to do volunteerism. I've been volunteering in the schools as a classroom volunteer, and that's gone by the wayside with the pandemic. I have a heart for education. I have a heart for Central Valley School District, having been educated there myself, working there for 20 years, and knowing that superintendent of school district works very closely with the board. So I know what a school board is all about. The average district employee does not have a lot of interaction with the school board. But as superintendent in Newport, I did get to know my board. I did get to understand what's the board's job. And in retirement, thinking, how am I going to give back? I have benefited from my K-12 education, my living in Spokane Valley. This is a way to give back to my community, bringing my experience with me and my love of children. So I thought this was a very good step for me to file for school board position. And it's turned a little different as I've lived it the last 6 months. It's gotten pretty political. It hasn't always been as political, but I think people would do well voting for me because I do bring a lifetime of educational experience in leadership, understanding what the board does and what the board doesn't do, representing a community that I've been a part of my whole life, and being willing to do the work. A school board member, it's a volunteer job. It's a lot of hard work, reading, keeping up on the issues, doing the homework, being present, being visible in the schools. I'm willing to do that. I have the time, I have the health, and I have the passion.
Great. Well, that's a very good wrap up, Terry, and I wish you good luck on your journey.
Thank you so much. Thanks for this opportunity.
What does it mean to be awake? It means to truly understand the issues facing us and actively participate as a citizen in this country. One way you can do that is by voting your values based on the Word of God. We believe We Vote has done the research and provides you the information you need to make an informed decision on which candidates will champion our values and work for us. Now is the time to rise up, get involved, and vote. WeBelieveWeVote.com.
Hello, Spokane. This is Governor Mike Huckabee. I'm going to be speaking at We Believe, We Vote's October 2nd fundraiser. It's more important than ever for Christians to come together and to vote. I'm looking forward to seeing you on October the 2nd of this year. For tickets to the event, go to WeBelieveWeVote.com.